Hi everyone, this is Heather. Thanks so much for joining me. Today we're going to be making this fun birthday card with a farm theme. I'm using one of the brand new adorable sets from Hello Bluebird called Party on the Farm. I absolutely love this set. It's got such cute animals and little accessories, and it's perfect for birthday cards. One of my other favorite sets from Hello Bluebird is Tabitha. It's traditionally a Halloween set, but I thought I could use the little girl and get rid of the broom and turn her into a cute little farm girl in a plaid outfit. So I'm also using the girl stamp from this set along with her coordinating die. I've got a pink cardstock base, just an 8.5 by 11 cut score folded in half. I have a piece of pink and white gingham plaid paper from Lawn Fawn. This has been cut to 5 1/4 by 4. I also have 110 pound weight white cardstock. The base panel has been cut to 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, and then another piece for stamping. I've placed my smaller piece of white cardstock onto a piece of scratch paper, and I have stamped the fence along the bottom section of the card once, kind of close to the edge, leaving a little bit at the bottom. And now I'm going to stamp it one more time, just have it kind of go off the edge. For my background, I wanted to do some ink blending, so I've got an ink blending brush and peeled paint Distress Oxide. I'm going to pick up some of that on the brush, place it on my scrap piece of paper, and just softly move that ink up onto the cardstock, getting kind of close to the fence. And it's okay if the ink goes over the fence. When we color in with a marker, you're not going to be able to tell. I want it a little bit darker at the bottom and a little bit lighter going up. For my sky, I'm using Pool Party ink from Stampin' Up. Turn my cardstock at a bit of an angle. It's just a little bit easier for me. I'm going to place a post-it note down just to keep me from running my fingers through that green ink. And same thing, I've got a larger blending brush. I'm going to start on the cardstock and just pull that blue ink color down in from my sky. Again, I want it a little bit heavier at the top, being lighter as it goes down towards the fence. Here's what my ink blended background looks like. I'm going back to the peeled paint Distress Oxide ink, and I'm using the little grass stamp that comes with the Party on the Farm. And I'm just going to randomly stamp the little clumps of grass. If you've watched my channel at all, you know that I am really in love with the Tri-Blend markers from Spectrum Noir. They are markers that have 3 shades of the same color in for really quick and easy blending. I have lots of videos, including an in-depth product review on my channel if you'd like to learn a little bit more about these. I recently picked up some additional colors to add to my collection, and so today I'm going to be using a few of those. This first one is Red Brown Blend, and I'm using the lightest shade to completely fill in my fence. And next I'm moving on to the darkest shade of that same marker, and just along the bottom of the planks of the fence and along the sides, I'm going to add that darker shade just for a little bit of shading and shadowing. I really like the contrast that that gives, so I'm not going to blend that out. Going back to my black Memento ink, I'm going to stamp It's Your Day in the upper left-hand corner. My background panel is finished. I'm going to set it aside for now. On my larger piece of white cardstock, I've gone ahead and stamped out the goat, the chicken, the balloon the party had in 2 of the bows. And now I'm ready to stamp out my little witch. I've inked her up in the black Memento ink. I've got one of those Q-tips that has a bit of a point to it, and I've got the tip a little bit wet. I'm going to go in and remove just a little bit of that broomstick close to her hand and stamp her out. And now it'll just look a little bit cleaner when I'm ready to put the balloon in her hand. If for some reason you end up wiping away more than you would like, I love using a Le Pen permanent marker. I feel like the nib is about as thick as a stamped image, so it works really well to fill in any empty spaces. With my Fair Skin Blend Tri-Blend marker, I'm going to fill in her skin tone, do her face, hands, and legs. Using the darker tone of the same marker, I'm going to add some shading and shadowing. Use the medium tone to overblend those colors. And then back to the lightest shade to blend those all in together. While I've got the Fair Skin Blend marker out, I'm going to color in the hooves and horns of my little goat, as well as the body of my kitty. And add just a few little touches of shading and shadowing with the darkest color. And I wanted to give my girl some cheeks, so using the darkest shade of pale pink, I'm going to give her some big rosy cheeks. And also with the pale pink, I did the inside of the goat's ears. I thought the Coral Blend marker looked really well with the plaid pattern paper that I chose, so I've colored in her collar with the lightest shade. I'm going to add a little shading and shadowing with the dark and blend that in with the medium. Now with a medium marker, I wanted to design the plaid on her shirt, so I'm just going to make some lines, kind of curving them to follow along with the pattern of her dress, and just draw in some lines and some cross hatches. And then with the dark blend, where those lines cross, all those little T's cross together, I'm going to try and make a little bit of a square that just gives it that little bit of extra touch of being a plaid. Using the same Coral Blend marker, I'm going to color in the bows, the base of the party hat, the comb, beak, and feet of the little chick, as well as completely fill in the balloon. And with the darker tone of that coral marker, I'm going to add my shading and shadowing on everything that I colored in coral. And I'm going to overcolor with the medium. And back once again to the lightest shade to blend that all out. And I'm going to do that on everything that I colored in with the coral. Going back to the red brown that I used for the fence, I'm going to color in her boots in the lightest shade. And I'm going to begin to add some spots to my kitty cat, just kind of random little blobs, just to kind of turn it into a calico cat. And add some shading and shadowing with the darker tone. Just little bits here and there for the kitty cat. And because this is such a small area, I'm going to skip the mid-tone, just go right back in with the light. Just kind of blend that back in together. And to finish off my kitty, I'm going to color in his ears and his nose with the pale pink blend. For the girl's hair, I'm using muted brown. I've used the light shade and colored in her hair completely. I'm not worrying about the hair ties because I'm going to be covering them up with the little bows. I'm going to go in and kind of follow the stamped lines to create some texture and shading and shadowing and just a few little strokes here and there just to add a little bit more of a realistic look to her hair. That laid down with the darkest shade. I'm going to go in with the medium and again just kind of follow those stamped lines and add some sort of streaks and texture to her hair. For the goat, I'm using the brown-gray blend. I've completely colored him in with the lightest shade, as well as the pom-pom on top of the hat. I'm going to go in with the darker shade, just like everything else, add some shading and shadowing. Go in with the mid-tone, blend those two out a little bit, and back to the lighter shade to blend that all together. Then I also added shading and shadowing with the gray to the pom-pom on the hat. And to finish off my coloring, I'm using the light yellow blend on the chick. I'm going to add shading and shadowing with the dark color, blend it out with the medium, and then go back to the light again to blend those all in together. I have the die for the little girl. I'm just going to adhere it on top and run that through my die cutting machine. Because of everything that's been going on, some of the craft companies are not able to get their supplies created right now. So Hello Bluebird is not going to have their companion dies ready until the end of April. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my scissors and cut these images out. The bow is a little bit fiddly, but the rest of it's pretty easy to cut out. Here are all my images cut out, and I'm ready to cut away the broom. I'm just going to take my scissors, I'm going to follow along the outside of the girl and trim away the broom. Using a glue pen, I'm going to apply a dab of glue where her hair ties are and place the bows on top. Just press those down and give them a second to dry. Then I'm going to apply a little bit of glue at the bottom of the party hat, and I'm going to place that on top of the goat. I've applied tape runner to the back of my gingham paper, and I'm going to center that onto my card base. Done the same with my ink blended background. I've applied foam tape to the back of each of my images. I'm going to place them in my scene. Place the balloon down with foam tape. I'm going to put a blob of the glue pen on her hand so that it looks like she's holding the balloon. And here is our finished card. I absolutely love this new Party on the Farm stamp set from Hello Bluebird. I think it's so cute. There's lots of fun little things that you can do with them. I also really loved being able to use a previous stamp set and turn my little witch girl into a cute little farm girl. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, check out my channel and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!